Okay, so one of the things I've been thinking about lately is this idea that all places are basically moments. That what you take to be a place, which is, I guess, a sort of designated space, but that is really occurring at a certain time. And the more you step back, you realize the degree to which spaces and places are moments of time. And there were a lot of different ways, I guess, to sort of shake it out. One would be to begin with John Dewey's line where he says that communication, it turns events into objects, things with a meaning. So the world is just eventfulness, ongoing eventfulness, but with forms of communication, ways of creating information, people transform all of those events into objects. Everything from having a fist, when I say, where did it go? Or you could say, where did your lap go when you stand up? But things that are obviously eventful in their own right even take on a name that makes it seem like it's a thing, something like childhood, or one could talk about a marriage. A marriage is an ongoing event, and yet language allows us to handle it in a discrete fashion. We can quantify them, reason about them, make abstract claims about the ongoing eventfulness once we've sort of cut it into bits and of recurring things that can be quantified and thought about. But it's not just that. There's so much more. I was thinking in response to some students who were asking about graduate programs. They said, what's a good graduate program? And part of me said, well, what do you want to be, and who do you want to go study with? And that's just the simplest way to come at it, because you know it can't just say, well, this was the school that I went to, or this is the school that so and so went to. Those programs are always changing. The program that I went through, it's a completely different program now. They're very very different people, and that was happening even in the course of 5 to 10 years. I remember the first time that I was in Italy, and I went, and we were in Rome, and you see all these ancient you know buildings, relics of an earlier time, and even though they're still there in the city, they echo a a place that's no longer really there, but it was a moment earlier in time that is. And see, this is where, how do I get it? It has something to do with the way an antique is an antique. When you find an antique item or something, an ancient relic, the object is right here. It's in the world. You can see it. And if it's in mint condition, it's even sort of more impressive. Like, there is the object just as it is presenting itself. And yet the world into which it fits is no longer here, right? The the way in which those larger worlds can change around a given object, they force the issue that those places into which those objects fit, those were actually moments. All right, so hope everyone is well. Bye bye.